Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the super, not funny show, Supercast. The Supercast, of course, where we talk about all things superhero related to pop culture things. So we're talking about movies, TV, video games, all that good stuff. And I am Mo De Poupe, your resident Fabricant and commenter extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And I'm joined by the anime enthusiast, the video game designer, and of course, lover of all things superhero, my good friend LADI. LADI, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing great, man. My CPU is still using a lot of power right now, but yeah, I'm good.
other than that, you're taxing the hardware over there. I hear that.
Yeah.
My CPU is humming along at a low rate because all I'm doing is recording this video. So, but anyway, yeah, the Supercast this week. Oh my gosh, it is a huge show this week. Gigantic show. We got CinemaCon going on in Las Vegas, and thanks to CinemaCon, there's been a lot of news coming out. Of course, there's the regular news that things are humming along in production, and we also have had a episode of What If, and that's going to be the main topic of this episode, which we're calling unrelated at all to the What If episode. Hello, Peter. And you'll understand
Hello,
what that
Peter.
means. You'll understand what that means when we get on to into the news. So, of course, here on the Supercast, we do like to start our show with a roundup of the most interesting news related to superhero things in the pop culture space. And so, this week we're going to be talking about, among other things, we're going to be talking about rumors related to Black Panther, uh, Black Panther 2, aka Black Panther Forever, rumors related to uh, Doctor Strange 2, aka Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. There is a little bit of insight into the definitely going to happen second season of Marvel's What If. A little, I guess, inside baseball talk related to Shang-Chi, which, as if you may not know, it's been getting pretty great reviews now that the review embargo has been lifted. And I think it's at like 94%, 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is pretty great.
It's good.
But even though it sounds real good and it's getting reviewed real well, there is also some talk about what its performance at the box office may mean for the upcoming Marvel slate of movies. And also, speaking of possible delays, uh, is Venom 2 going to be moving into next year? We don't know. We're going to talk about that some more. And just a little fun, little bit in the video game space, a short discussion about the trailer for the upcoming XCOM style Marvel game called Midnight Suns. And of all the news, the biggest news, we're going to discuss the Spider Man No Way Home trailer that smashed the internet on Monday. So
Yes.
that's so many things to talk about this week. So all of that, there's a lot of news. So we're gonna try to work our way all the way through it before we get to talking about What If Episode 3. So let's go ahead and dive into this right now. We're gonna start with rumors. Look at all these rumors surrounding us every day. Like if you if you sit and follow any of these news sites or whatever, it's rumors left and right. Um, some of them may even turn out to be true. So
Rumors every day.
yeah, there's a. In fact, Lottie, didn't you? He hit me up with something about that was from We Got This Covered. I'm trying to remember what it was about earlier in the week, and we had to have a talk about well, We Got This Covered and how you shouldn't listen to them. They
Yeah.
might be right, but they're probably wrong.
Long.
Um, yeah.
But I hope they're right so I can use one of my favorite phrases.
Well, I mean, it remains to be seen, but yeah, I usually, we get ours from, try to get the news from a little more reputable places like Hollywood Reporter. The Direct is a good one. It's one of my go tos. Variety. those are a little more, even Murphy's universe is a little better at it than we got this cover. They just throw shit at the wall and they hope it sticks. So, but anyway, the rumors this week, we got a couple rumors, and we're just gonna cover them both real quickly. So, uh, there's this Black Panther 2 is filming. Apparently, it's up in Cambridge, Massachusetts, on the campus at MIT, filming some scenes. And I know this is true because there have been set pictures. I don't know if you saw these of Denai Guerrera. Can't say her
Hmm.
name right, but and also Letitia Wright, who respectively play the General, aka Okoye, and also Shuri. So they play those two characters, and they were, uh, there was pictures of them on set, and also there's pictures of Dominique Thorne, who is cast to play Riri Williams, aka Ironheart, who in the comics went to MIT. So is were they on scene or were they on set to film a scene wherein Riri meets Okoye and Shuri, and what does that mean for Black Panther going forward? So, what do you think, Waddy? What's your take on this?
Well, first, it's good to see the actress who's doing Shuri, doing the movie because there was a lot of like things going on.
Oh, she said some
Just
stupid. She said some dumb shit, and then very
yeah,
very wisely shut her mouth.
yeah. It was like we don't know if she might be in the movie, but now it's good to see that she's in it. Like I said, I already people, pretty much know my stance on Ironheart. I love Ironheart. I was hoping and praying that she would be in Black Panther, and now that we pretty much got her confirmed in it, I absolutely love it, and I'm really hoping that this whole scene of them meeting her is true. So because I'm gonna wait till it's actually true so I can say my phrase because I was just about to say it, but I can't say it yet because
I
you can't
well,
use it.
I'll say this much. I mean, it's rumored, but they posted on the direct, and they literally have pictures of them in Massachusetts,
Hmm.
filming. So, and not just pictures of those of Denai Guerrera and Letitia Wright, but they also have pictures of Dominic Thorne going to set. So, maybe this might be one of the one times we got this covered is on point. But it doesn't take much to draw a line between the two because Riri Williams is one of the smartest people in the in the Marvel Comics universe because
Yeah,
she reverse engineered the Iron Man suit, and Shuri is in the MCU is the smartest person on Earth. So it only makes sense that they would meet up. There's also some rumor that Riri is at, at least for the purposes of the movie is going to be from Oakland, which if you remember was where the Wakandan outreach centers was going to be at the end of
mhm.
Black Panther. So there's that connection too. So it seems very likely, I think. I don't know about you, but just every time I get just like a picture of them filming this, I'm just like, I'm fucking high on life, really, knowing that Wakanda Forever is on its way, and that they're busy, they're busy filming right now. It makes me super happy. So
Yeah.
I'm over the moon right now. And let me just say, the general was looking on point with it with her bald head. I'm just saying, with her bald head, she was looking on point. Just
She's
saying,
always on point.
always on point. So
I mean, every part of parts, the Dura Milaje is on point, honestly.
yeah, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see what they do with her. But anyway, that's speculation for another day. The second bit of speculation, I think this is going to be more something that I think it's going to really make you think hard, which is because we're going to speculate about who they're talking about. Now, supposedly, there's a rumor that from an insider that seems to get things mostly right, that Scarlet Witch is going to fight an unnamed Fox Universe and Fox Marvel Universe character in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Go. There you go. Speculate away.
Feel my pain and freedom. I am Onslaught. I hope
Well,
and pray.
did they have Onslaught in any of the? I didn't think they had Onslaught in any of them.
Yeah, but this is perfect to introduce him into there. Just figure it out. Just figure out how to put him in there. I want to see Onslaught because think about this. If they are fighting a character from the Fantastic, I don't get anybody from the Fantastic Four universe, throw them out the window. I do not want to see none of that stuff. Erase. X-Men universe. Who are the only people that could fight the Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange alongside of them?
Yeah.
One of them is, of course, Jean, where she's the Phoenix. But they've done the Phoenix to death. Nobody wants to see it no more.
But let me just say, this is, you see, we're assuming a lot here, mainly because there has been no hint that Marvel is ready to deal with mutants yet. But there is a hint that they are more than ready to. They've got a director for Fantastic Four. They're writing on it. They haven't cast it yet, but they're more than, I think, ready to work on Fantastic Four, which makes the Fantastic Four more, not less likely, to be the source of whatever this Fox. See, they said Fox Universe character. They didn't say Fox X-Men character. They said Fox Universe, which is ambiguous enough that, given what we know, what we know about X-Men is they literally have not. There's no directors. There's no writers attached right now. There's no actors. There's no producers. Well, all of what's really going on right now is that Marvel in-house is trying to figure out what they're going to do with them, but there's nothing definite. That's my main reason of thinking. Oh, maybe they introduce another character that's Fantastic Four adjacent. And I'm gonna I'm gonna let you speculate some more. I have a good one that would satisfy you, and
I'm pretty sure where you're going with it.
well, let me see. Go ahead and say it.
Galactus.
I wouldn't say Galactus because I'm not really. The thing is I'm not getting a hint of when it comes to this multiverse of madness. I'm not getting a hint of huge
But he wouldn't fit. Yeah, he wouldn't fit. Yeah.
consequence.
He wouldn't fit in that. Yeah, I agree with you. He wouldn't fit.
I'm thinking
in
more of a more down to earth character that still fits into both and into the Fox universe, and he's definitely been a Fantastic Four adversary before, and that's Namor the Submariner. That to me, I could see Scarlet Witch having a fight. 'Cause remember, he's a mutant too. He's a mutant, and he's Fantastic Four adjacent. In fact, he's been gunning for the Invisible Woman for many years. So I could see that being one. I'm not saying that's who it is. That would make sense to me. How you fulfill that without actually messing with the mutants.
I mean, I mean, he's great. Don't get me wrong.
But he's also rumored to be maybe in Wakanda forever. But I'm just saying. Just saying.
Yeah,
there's good reasons to and oh, actually I got another one, but you go ahead. I actually have another one.
I was just gonna say it's just I would love just to see the battle slot and the Scarlet Witch. I mean, it will be amazing. And I mean, I can see what you mean by it will make sense that they don't do it because it's hard to just bring back up the mutants, but I understand.
Right. Well, I do, and I have another one. Just staying in the fantastic, and this is the one that's most obvious, and you're just gonna be like, why would they do this instead of in a Fantastic Four movie, and I'll give you a good reason. So Scarlet Witch versus Doctor Doom. Now, follow me here.
I mean,
Oh, and I mean, like,
I mean,
one thing that people don't really realize about Doctor Doom, if you don't follow the comics, is he actually has skills in the magic arts. He actually has, he's not. Is he Sorcerer Supreme level? No, but dude can actually do magic, and his mother was a witch, so he
yeah,
actually has a pedigree and an alternate universe where he's not mainline MCU. He's an alternate universe. He would be probably an alternate universe. So in a what if universe where Doctor Doom is maybe either the Sorcerer Supreme or he's some kind of like super villain that's doing all this magic shit. So I mean those that one makes sense to me.
if Doom, if Doom does appear, there's two moves I have to see I have to see choreograph in this movie, or I'm not gonna like it. One, he has to do his foot dive, and two, he has to use his hidden missile. If I don't see either or in the movie, they failed
But
all Doctor Doom fans. In the
this is a different bot. This is a different Doctor Doom, though. This like if you follow Doctor Doom enough in the comics, there are times when he's all mechanical and robots and shit. But there are other times
Mhm.
when he can literally fight you with magic, and he's no slouch. He's not a joke. Like you can't like discount him when it comes to a magical fight. So I mean, it's just speculation. We don't know. It's just
Yeah, we don't
a
know.
Fox Universe character. It's fun to think about though. So those are our rumors for the week. Moving on, let's talk a little. Let's talk a little delay delay talk. I guess these are still rumors too, but they're a little more. They're a little more immediate and a little more substantial. Well, we know that COVID and the Delta variant, and just plain old people wanting to stream shit instead of going to the movies like they're supposed to. It's kind of messing up the game right now, especially for big blockbusters, uh, such as what Marvel puts out. It's hard to spend $150 million on something and you only get $30 million on the first week in the box office. Not very cool. Doesn't help that Marvel's kind of having a problem right now with releasing stuff in China because, the Chinese authorities are funny about stuff. Um, so we know that Black Widow didn't quite perform the way they wanted it to, and we talked last week about the whole this is an interesting experiment that the CEO of Disney was talking about Shang-Chi, which again I say Rotten Tomatoes like 93%, and everybody seems to really like it. Every time I see someone react to it, they really like it. But
Mhm.
that doesn't mean anything. It's it's just be honest. Doesn't mean much if no one goes to the theater, even if it's a great movie. So
Yeah, and real quick, I'm getting hearing from some of the people that I know that I don't think this movie's going to do well in the theater. I really don't think so because I'm hearing a lot of people have no interest in going to go watch it. Kind of, it sucks, but
what? And I'm
yeah,
not. The thing is, I'm not surprised. A lot of people aren't really going to the theaters like they should anyway. And there's good reasons, and I think there's also the last year's kind of conditioned people to just wait. And they think that it's a Disney movie, so obviously it's going to be on streaming at the same time. It's all sorts of things, but it's really not. So, has Shang-Chi been set up to, possibly fail and take the fall? Possibly. I mean, there's this whole day and date release thing is kind of like, people bitch about the $30, but now that it's available, they kind of like, well, I want to stick with it. So we're hearing, or at least there's talk that if Shang-Chi underperforms at the box office, because it's theatrical only, if it underperforms, then that may make Eternals get delayed, maybe till into next year. Spider Man's not going to get delayed because Sony is the distributor, so they'll put it out when they're ready to put it out. But Eternals may get delayed as a result because it probably is a more I would imagine it's a more expensive movie than Shang-Chi, so they definitely got to get their money back on this. Um, at the same
They
time,
should do that.
well, yeah, I mean, this is really it's all about the money here. At the same time, Sony is well. This was the rumor that they were considering moving Venom 2 into early, and I mean early, like January of 2022, and bumping Morbius down to later on in the year. Which Morbius and Venom 2 have already been bumped, several times because of the pandemic. But the idea here is that to give themselves more time to to get the most box office they can because they are not again not going to streaming at the same time, and they're going just it's going to just be in the theater. So what you see here, in my opinion, is you see two big companies sort of wrangling with the fact that at some point, it's like what do you call them, lemmings or whatever. Someone's got to, or not lemmings, penguins. Someone's got to be the first to jump into the pool, and jump into the ocean, so to speak. And they're the one the most likely to get eaten by sharks, right? So,
Mhm.
or whatever, they're the most likely to get eaten. And so, but someone's got to jump first, and Disney sort of did it unintentionally with Free Guy, just because they didn't see any reason to do simultaneous releases on Disney Plus, and Free Guy sort of did pretty, pretty decent. It's a win, but they're afraid that if Shang-Chi doesn't do what it's supposed to, which is like make at least 600 mil, at in the box office at the end of the day, then maybe it's not time to be putting out big blockbusters.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So what I have to say is that first of all, I'm just going to tell you right now, Sony's going to delay those movies. Sony is a company that is not afraid to delay stuff. That's one thing I can tell you that I know about Sony. Sony will make sure that whatever they put out is good and they make money off it. They'll wait.
Well,
Marvel,
I
on
do.
the
Well,
other
I
hand,
do want to put just like to add that there was a article that came as kind of a follow up that said, well, a Sony, inside a Sony exec or whatever insider was like, no, that's not what's happening. So there's a competing. I'm not saying that they couldn't just be blowing smoke just to like keep it ambiguous. I'm just saying that there is a counter narrative going on
the
here as
counter
well.
narrative. Yeah. And honestly, I'm gonna just be honest. You know, I don't think it is time to release some of these big blockbusters. I like Shang-Chi should release, and I'm not saying just in theater, but I feel
I'm
that
sorry. So, wait, I'm going to say it again.
there shouldn't be. I'm saying that right now, I feel like there this isn't the time to start releasing blockbusters. Like right now, with everything that's going on with the pandemic, and I mean, let's just be, we're basically back to ground zero. Like honestly, like this variant is really tearing through people, and and unlike before, where people were like, "Oh my God, I don't want to get it." Some people just they they're not they're not as afraid as they were in 2020. So there's a lot of people not wearing their mask, being not caring as much. Which some people that will lead to them going to the movies to watch it, but this will also lead a lot of people to be like, no, I'm not going out there because I don't want to get sick, and I
Right.
completely understand that. I completely understand that. While some people just feel like, I'll just wait till that movie comes out to DVD. It's better to not get sick and wait till it comes out. And it's one of those things that is just I feel like Marvel shouldn't release a lot of these movies. And give it time because let's just be honest, it's about to be flu season on top of what's going on. Just delay it a couple of months.
Yeah.
It,
I
like
as a selfish and vaccinated, as a person that's vaccinated, wears a mask, and is selfishly wants all things right now. I'm glad that they are releasing stuff. I think the thing is that it would be foolish of Marvel to change what it's doing, or DC, or Sony to change what they're doing based on a year that's clearly not normal. It's a bit like basing. It's a bit like if the manager, the store manager of a Walmart, based their, how much they should order from the warehouse based on, the week that a hurricane is coming into town. You know, why would
Yeah.
you can't base it on an abnormal time. This is an abnormal time. You already got things in the can. Like Eternals is done. It's been done. Spider-Man: Far From Home, it wrapped a couple months ago. Uh, Shang-Chi has been done. So they can't not work on things. They got to keep the train moving. So I think this is a situation just like they got to do what the movie theaters did, which was, rather than just shut down, you just kind of have to take the losses, as try to mitigate them as much as you can by um, not doing the day and date thing because that fucks you up more. But like, just stay in the pocket, take the hits. You're not going to get as much money as you wanted. The investors should not be dumb enough to be demanding, 2019 box office numbers in this day. They should be happy that there's any profit at all. And then, just keep the train moving because that's the thing about the MCU is that as long as you keep things moving, and I'll say this, it's unfortunate because Phase 4 is it's like the start of the MCU all over again in the sense that everyone has got to buy into it again. So, they're kind of back to square one in a sense, and this is not a good time to be at square one because you have fewer people getting into it. So I think I still think that they should, go ahead release, try to make as much money as you can. Don't blame Shang-Chi if it doesn't go gangbusters because it's not fair to the movie to expect gangbusters in this environment. And don't take it as a bellwether that maybe Eternals isn't ready to come out just yet. But there's only so much you can move it. Every time they move that date, that's money. You know, every time they move it, you notice they put trailers out and stuff. That's money that they're spending to put advertisements out. At some point, you just gotta pull the trigger. You can't keep aiming and aiming and aiming. Pull the trigger at some point and let it fly. Let it fall where it falls. And
Mm-hmm.
I say the same thing about Venom. Venom is a year late for a good reason. Just pull the trigger. You know, you got to keep the train moving. And I think just if Sony really wants this Spider-Man universe to take off, they can't keep holding back the main character in it right now, which is Venom. And they can't keep holding back Morbius if they want to expand it. I mean, that's it's. I think at some point you lose your momentum. You know, so that's just what I feel.
Yeah, yeah, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. It's just the only thing that kind of just leads me to hesitancy is that we as rational middle class people, we understand what it means not to make money when we always want to. Rich people, on the other hand, these corporations, they don't. And when they do not make the money that they want to, somebody
They're
is to
taking their ball
blame.
and going home.
Yeah, that's how they just it's just how they are. They do not care. Like if they see, oh, all they see is that it didn't meet the bottom line. So, and that's unfortunately that's just how it is with a lot of these big time industries and stuff like that. They base all of their stuff off of just a number. They don't look into other stuff. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
why it's just unfortunately it's like goes back to the pandemic. While there was people who literally cannot work getting laid off and they physically cannot work and they're getting laid off because the corporations just don't care. They're not making money, so they're gonna get rid of you. You
Right.
know?
Yeah. So it's all about the money as usual. Like if you ever wonder what's going on, money. There you go. There's your answer to
Yep.
everything. So, but we'll see. We're gonna keep an eye on this. I hope they don't delay anything, but we'll see. Time will tell, especially
Hmm.
after Shang-Chi releases next week. Speaking of Shang-Chi, just a little inside baseball. This is more interesting to me maybe than any other people, but I do like the making how films are made, and I do like to hear from directors and writers about how they go about shaping these things into things I like to watch. And so the director of Shang-Chi just
Hmm.
talking about the way he pitched for Shang-Chi to the movie and how he went about it. It's fun stuff. He was didn't want to do a Marvel movie, and then he's like, I got to do this one because it's Shang-Chi and all this stuff. But what was interesting to me is, and this is more to get an idea, an inside look at why Marvel kicks ass. Because I guess you could call me I wouldn't say Marvel stan. I don't think everything Marvel does is the best thing in the world, but they are the most consistently, uh, they have the most consistent quality of any series of movies I've ever seen. And how they've managed it, this is an insight into it. So he says in this article basically that he was able to sort of approach the director of Black Panther, who was a friend of his, Ryan Coogler,
Hmm.
and talk to him about how does this work? How does Marvel work? What should I expect here? How can I be successful in doing it? Which anybody with any sense knows. You ask somebody else is successful at something you want to do, asking them for their advice and insight is the smartest thing you can do, and it helps if you're friends with one of the best up and coming directors in Hollywood who made a $1 billion film with Marvel. And he basically was like, "Oh well, Ryan told me, you know, they're really collaborative and they want to hear what you have to say, and you know, they are going to push back, but everyone's just trying to tell the best story possible, and basically told him about the sort of environment where it's not about studio trying to have hard control, but like really help you to tell a story. And again, this is all for me because I love to hear the creative process, but it really is more, like I said, it speaks to why Marvel works so well, and maybe why others other studios are like, oh well, we need a cinematic universe, and they've got it all wrong. Not that you can't have a cinematic universe, but their goal is to have a cinematic universe instead of telling stories within a shared universe that all work together to tell a big cohesive story.
Yep.
And I thought that was, first of all, I thought it was awesome that all of these big time directors, like they just talk and share notes and shit like that. But also that Marvel clearly they know what the hell they're doing. They got some sense about how to let creative people do their thing. So that's what
Hmm.
I had to say about it. Lottie, what do you think about these revelations?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's. I don't want to say it's obvious, but it's quite telling to see something. Marvel's doing something that other companies are not doing, and it's just not. It's not surprising to me at all because it goes like this in video games as well. It's like comparing Sony games to Nintendo. I mean, not Nintendo to Microsoft games. People are like, why are Sony games so good? It's because you know the companies. I mean the game developers are really close friends with each other to the point that literally you'll be playing a PlayStation exclusive, and they got Easter eggs of different Sony exclusive characters throughout their game. And I mean, it's for all of them, constantly Easter eggs. So you can tell that every single one of those developers and developing teams, they're close knit to each other. They're probably even helping each other, going like, "Oh, hey, how did you? Oh, that part where you did it in this game was kind of cool, man. How did you do that? Oh, this is how you do it. Oh, okay, I'm gonna put that in my video game. It's probably the same way. I've seen it in Marvel movies where certain things that I saw that this movie did well, they were able to put it into the Marvel movie. It's kind of like it's what really helped, like real great, really good example. What really helped with the Thor Ragnarok is such a different movie compared to the first two movies. You can tell that person who directed the third movie went up to the other people who did well in the Marvel movie and said, "Hey, how do I make Thor a good character?" You know what I mean? And it just, I mean, it's just a testament. That's what, if you want to create a cinematic universe or a gaming universe or something where all these characters are connected, you're not supposed to work separately in creating a story. You're supposed to create, you think of it like it's a giant book, and each and one of you guys are working on a chapter of a book told through another character's perspective. But at the end of the day, it's just one massive book, and that's how it should work. When that chapter ends, you should know, the director, when one chapter ends of this story, the director of the next movie knows exactly how that book ended. I mean, that chapter ended. They know exactly what they did. And the person who directed that last chapter is also talking to the person who's making the next chapter, and so on.
Right.
And that's what makes Marvel movies so great.
Yeah.
It's just a testament to that.
It's yeah. It's I think the kind of push and pull of creative freedom versus working within the confines of the story. There's certain things you can't do, certain things, but you also have the higher ups and you have the different levels that are communicating across everything. So I do like the idea that these directors are all sort of like, I don't it's not like a clubhouse or anything, but you know just being able to reassure each other and give each other advice on how to navigate working with Marvel. I mean, it's not always all good. There are two or three directors that didn't have such a great experience, but for the most part, that seems to be where the directors, once they get their boundaries, were able to play around well in there. So
I mean,
I
it,
it,
it's
it
I mean,
go
it's think of it like this. Me and you work for a car company and we sell cars. Yeah, I want to sell more cars than you, but I don't want you to not sell cars, because if you don't sell cars, that that messes up the company's bottom line, and that may lead to me not having as fat as a check. You know what I mean?
hmm
So yeah, each director, they want their movie to be the number one. It's like the same thing that I said with Marvel, with Sony. Yeah, each game director, they want their game to be number one selling game on this platform. But at the same time, they don't want the next game to bomb, because then it will look, because then Sony will be like, "Hey, we're gonna have to make some cuts on the next game. Wait, hold up, now I didn't make a bad game, but hey, his money is coming out of the money that you made, and now you see, it all works in tandem. So of course they're not going to want each person to fail, but at the same time, it's what you call healthy competition. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's it. I mean, it's just too. It's very collaborative, and they have people that are trying to make everything work together and also be good. So it sounds like especially for these young, young, relatively inexperienced directors. I mean, by that I mean like a couple projects under their belt. This is a good way for them to, like, learn how to work with big budget films. So I find all that stuff very interesting. If you want to know why we get good stuff from Marvel, there you go. There,
Hmm.
that's it. Um, let's moving on to another small tidbit about the What If TV show or animated show. There's a season two on the way. They already said it's going to have a season two. But does it interest you to know that they're going to be delving into the Phase 4 stories on the next season? Which by the time it premieres next, I would assume next summer. I would imagine that how many 3, 4, 5 Phase 4 movies will be have been out by then. So we're gonna
Yeah.
get to see some Phase 4 what ifs, um, which kind of tells you that Phase 4 is really well. That I would say it's pretty well plotted out. Like everything that we're gonna see by next summer, I think is either in production or is done with production. So that
Mm-hmm.
tells you that the first of all, it tells you that the what if people they've got access to all of the tea, so to speak. They know all the stuff that's going down, and that also means that they've got a lot of freedom. It sounds like actually a show where you have a ton of freedom as a writer to just go crazy
I
on what could happen.
I have one. What if Deadpool was an Eternal? There we go.
Oh my gosh, the Deadpool is I think Deadpool is secretly in every MCU movie now. He's just he's secretly in every I
Oh, you know that will be fucking awesome if they do that. Like he's like an Easter egg that he's like in the background making a funny pose, and it's like you have to find him. I they should do. They should
it's like
definitely do that.
where's Deadpool?
That's Deadpool. He's like so obscurely in the background somewhere that if you don't know if you don't pay attention, you won't notice.
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't they? They've talked about having him there instead. Now that Stan Lee is gone. Um, I
Oh,
I think so far though we haven't seen Shang-Chi yet, but we have seen the TV shows. So there's Wanda Vision what ifs. There's Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like what if Carly wasn't killed at the end of
oh yeah.
Falcon and Winter Soldier? What if John Walker was more villainous?
What if
Or
Thor was the one who went to the TVA?
yeah, I mean, well, I don't see why he would have, but sure, why not?
I
But
mean,
there,
it's
but and
so. What if?
what
What if
kind of
Thor was the initiative one? You
yeah?
know, it
What
could
if
easily.
well they and then the Loki what ifs? I mean, they kind of would they do Loki what ifs? What if Sylvie didn't? But if Sylvie didn't, then there would be no what if. So
Just
but there's
yeah,
so
that would be
many
no
there's
what
so
if.
many ways we could go. The TV shows, um, and obviously in the next few months, toward the end of the year, we'll have several more movies to figure out. But there's even with Black Widow, there's all sorts of places where things could have been different. So I think that's the thing about what if. There's just so much that could happen. The question isn't what if, all sorts of infinite number of things could have happened. What what of those infinite things are actually a good enough story to tell? So I'm excited. I really like what if. So I like the concept, and I want to see what they plan to do in the next season. Um, so before the last big thing of news, let's briefly talk about this Midnight Suns video game, which is a new Marvel video game. Like I, some people have talked about it's like XCOM, which is like a strategy game, and then there's also Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Maybe it's a little like that. But the point is that uh, it's a game where there's a more supernatural sort of plot, and you have
Mhm.
a brand new character. I'm assuming the player character is a brand new character, but it involves Lilith, the mother of demons, and the Darkhold and magic and stuff. And so you have some very popular Marvel characters who are is the word can we say magically buffed? Is that a good way to say it?
Yes, I'm gonna be honest with you. It looked great on Wolverine, but everyone else got a little. I was like,
Well,
uh,
well, I mean, Ghost Rider looks
yeah,
pretty good.
Ghost Rider, yeah, because yeah, true.
It's
Ghost Rider
it's
does
it's
look.
interesting who they chose. Like if you see the picture, like some are obvious, like Ghost Rider and Blade. They're
Yeah,
obvious. But and Wolverine, okay, sure, why not?
'cause,
But then you had Iron Man, and you're like,
Yeah.
how does Iron Man fit into a supernatural sort of deal?
What I was gonna say, it would have been really cool if they would have added Spider-Man into the game, but Sony owns the character Spider-Man, and they're not going to let him out of their game agreement unless you pay them a hefty sum, and I doubt they'll do that for this type of game because Spider-Man makes more sense than Captain America and Iron Man, and when it comes to a lot of this stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have some like expected ones, like again, like Doctor Strange, but then Captain Marvel is in it too.
Which
So
doesn't make any
yeah,
sense.
it's not obvious why any of the non supernatural characters are in it. I still think it looks pretty cool. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's my type of game, but I do like the idea of you know they're all fighting demons and stuff like that. Maybe playing as Blade and Wolverine's
Why
doing
isn't Hulk in this though?
you
Because
know
Hulk does have a lot of supernatural stuff. Why
well
isn't
I
he in it?
mean he does Immortal Hulk does, but maybe I think it's probably who how can they incorporate you know a bunch of different character types, so you don't replicate too many. But I think they also have certain types so that you can build your roster, in a more, you have a diverse roster, but still fill certain slots. It's
Yeah.
This is just a teaser trailer. It's very early on. I still think it looks pretty sweet though. I mean,
Yeah. It,
am I gonna buy it? Probably not because you know how I am with buying new games, but it looks cool. It looks really
it just
cool.
shows one thing that it shows is that Marvel is desperate. And I mean, they want their games to be sold.
They're
Man.
trying to make that money. Disney got a they got some new shoes they got to buy for the babies. They got to paint they got to paint the house. They need money.
yeah, that makes
They're gonna pimp out that Marvel license as much as they do Lucasfilm.
Yeah, they are. They are literally
You see them in
that
Fortnite.
license.
You know they're up in Fortnite. They got their little app
Jesus,
game.
boy.
They got their little
They
app games. I mean they're going hard.
They are
They
pimping the hell out of their license right now. They're like, why can't our games do well?
Yeah, well, video games based on superhero things. You know, so what's the last one? They're one for Marvel's Avengers.
Yeah,
Seemed like a good idea. So
yeah. The only person that's really's done is Sony. Sony really hit it out the park with Spider Man,
yeah,
and it seems like they're nowhere near slowing down with Spider
isn't it
Man.
amazing when there's a game based on a single character that they take their time with? That works. So I know, strange, but when you're trying to implement the power set of you know 30, 40, 50 different characters, it might be hard. Just saying.
Yep.
So, but we'll keep an eye on that one. We'll keep an eye on that as that comes forward. So, all right, it's time to talk about the elephant in the room. Um, time to talk about the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. Y'all, everyone, buckle in. Get. I hope you have a drink handy, some snacks, and you are strapped in tightly because we're going hard right now. Going super
Yep.
hard on the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. I got some stuff to say, but Lottie, why don't you let me know what did you think about this trailer?
Okay. So when I first watched this trailer, I'm not gonna lie, the first two something minutes, I was just like, Ugh, okay, we know this. We've seen a lot of this stuff. I'm not too, I was kind of, I won't say I was bored, but I wasn't interested. It was just the beginning part of the trailer did not catch me. And then I heard the word multiverse. I perked up a little bit. I perked up in my couch a little bit. I was like, wait, hold up. Wait, hold up. What's going on? And then I saw the that iconic pumpkin bomb in that laugh. And immediately I popped off. I literally started screaming from the top of my voice because I knew immediately what that meant. And then we saw the name of we heard the line that is the name of this podcast. Hello, Peter. And then I literally was going, just texting my friends, like, my God, guys, you gotta see this. And they're like, what are you talking about? You know, all this stuff. And, they text me like, they were like, man, this trailer's not that great. What are you talking about? Then all of a sudden, wait, they started saying, I get a whole bunch of texts going like, let's go.
I feel like in that moment you joined the so many other people online that were going ham. Twitter was going hard and fast when that dropped. Social media is going hard and fast. uh, I of course I had my reaction. I had to tweet a few things trying to be funny, but people are into it. So, but yeah, so overall, minus those last moments, the trailer wasn't really doing it for you. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they didn't do a great job of captivating me. And, I'm just going to be honest with you. They didn't, if they didn't put to those last 15 to 20 minutes, and I mean 20 seconds into that trailer, like if it would have just ended after the little multiverse thing and they never really showed the other part, I will say I will still go watch the movie because I'm a huge fan of Spider-Man. But I could see they would have did a very bad job of getting hype because I would be excited to watch it. But that last 15 to 20 seconds has me probably the most excited to see a Spider-Man movie since the original trilogy. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is the most excited I have been to see a Spider-Man movie. Oh, I'll say this is the most excited I am to see Spider-Man in a movie since I found out Sony was allowing him to be in Marvel's Captain America 3. This is the most excited I have been involving the character Spider-Man in a movie. And they that last 20 seconds was got me. Completely got me, hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, I hear you. And you know what? I wanna echo your sentiments. Um, it's some of this is probably because I built up the anticipation. People have been screaming for this damn trailer for months,
Mm-hmm.
and so it finally shows up. I'm hyped, and it's a 3-minute trailer basically. It's a teaser trailer. So I understand teaser trailers are not going to have a ton of stuff about what's going on in the movie or anything like that. It's just trying to be like, hey, some shit's happening you might want to see. So to that effect, it was really weird to me that it spent so much time really setting up the scenario. But of course, I understand that a lot of there may be people that aren't completely on board with it, so maybe they don't know some stuff. And it just felt like to me, it sort of underwhelmed in most of the trailer, sort of underwhelmed. And but then where it kind of came back into focus was as soon as all of the multiversal magical shenanigans start popping off, and then Spidey swinging through the Inception inspired, magical New York and stuff. And I tweeted, I was like, damn, why the hell is Spidey always falling from like really high up? Every single movie with Tom Holland, he's flailing, falling from way higher than he ought to be, and he's literally falling through a hole in reality.
Yeah.
I think also the part of my excitement is just because I know that with Loki and the opening of the multiverse,
Mm-hmm.
there's there's so many more possibilities, and all of the rumors and anticipation of because I knew Alfred Molina was back as as Doctor Octopus. I'm not surprising to me. Didn't make it not awesome. Didn't make it
Mm-hmm.
not awesome when he showed up. I didn't know, but it seems to be that Willem Dafoe is back as the Green Goblin. Okay, I didn't know that. That's pretty awesome.
Yep.
If they're back, then where are their Spider Man? Because Tom Holland's clearly not those the Spider Man that they went with, and of course we know Jamie Foxx is back as Electro. So is Andrew Garfield going to be? So all this stuff, all these things, I was hoping to see them, didn't see them, not disappointed by that at all. It's just
Mm-hmm.
that I think what kind of tempered my excitement for it was the revelations about what kind of starts all of the action, all of the story off, all of the action, and what does it mean for the characters that are in play. So like Doctor Strange is weird in this. If he feels really weird. I know, granted, we've only seen him in one movie and then a couple scenes in
It definitely.
Thor, and then we saw him in Endgame and in Infinity War. But he seems weird.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm fully on board with you on that one, and I was gonna bring that up. He doesn't seem like the Doctor Strange we know. He seems very off. Like there's something. Like it's like they're trying to change his character. You know what I mean?
or as some people like, but because it's a multiverse thing, like, is this the same Doctor Strange? Is this someone impersonating Doctor Strange? Could it be Mephisto? Like everyone seems to want it to be. uh, it's it's just like I think my nerd brain doesn't doesn't sit well with the idea that Peter Parker. Oh, the reveal of Peter Parker as Spider Man is a devastating blow to Peter Parker, and I'm like, I would flip everybody off and be like, "Bitch, I saved the world." So yeah, everybody who wants to who wants to throw shade, uh, turn to the person that got undusted. That I got undusted and stayed undusted because I kicked the shit out of Thanos. And you know, be happy that they're there. You're welcome. But
and
the other thing is like, dude, you're a fucking honorary Avenger, dude. Why on earth is this a problem for you?
honestly, you said a mouthful. I honestly was talking about this with my friend Anthony, and we were saying the same thing. It seems like we were talking about the different Spider-Mans, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, how throughout their movies they went through absolute terrible things. Like, in Tobey Maguire, Green Goblin attacked Aunt May and put her into hospital. Um, we all know Andrew Garfield lost what's her name, Gwen Stacy. They went through terrible things, but they stayed as Spider-Man. It seems like this he went this Spider-Man went from helping save the universe to, because a good amount of people don't like you because you're a Spider-Man. You're really thinking, but and then you got to ask yourself, like you said, you're an Avenger. Every single one of the Avengers have been hated by the public at one point, and I mean hated a lot by everybody in the public. Every single one of them. Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, especially Hulk. How do you think Bruce Banner feels? You know what I mean? He can't even live a normal life, and that's where it just goes. Like, I feel like he's for the whole movie to be started off because he just can't handle that people know that he's Spider-Man. Kind of like you said, doesn't sit well with me as well.
Yeah,
You know what
it's
I mean?
well, it's. I mean, I get it. He's young. He's young and all that stuff. I don't. I'm like, why the hell would Doctor Strange not just be like, well, it sucks, but dude, you got to learn how to deal with reality. That's one thing. The other thing I really want to ask is, why didn't you ask Nick Fury to help you? What do you? I mean, like,
Yeah.
you literally just kicked ass for him, even if he was a scroll. Just be like, yo, hook me up, get me a life model decoy. Oh, you don't have an LMD? You have literal scrolls. I mean, obviously Peter doesn't know that. He could just ask for help. Why? And the other question, this raises questions about the Avengers. Where's Falcon, who fought
Yeah.
side by side with him? Where's Shuri? Where's
Yeah.
T'Challa? Where is where is T'Challa being like, you know what? You having a tough time? You want to come hang out in Wakanda for a little bit? Let's come
Hey,
till the heat dies off. Where
yeah. Yeah.
where's Hawkeye being like, come hang out at my at my
Am I,
farm? You know,
because that's what I thought was going to happen. I thought
This
when
is
his
this is not an
identity got
that's my thing. It's not an unsolvable problem. You literally
yeah
know scrolls. They could just be like, "I'm Spider Man. Here's Peter Parker. We're clearly not the same person." You know,
yeah.
this. I
I
mean,
mean
I'd said that the moment the when we were in the theater watching
yeah
Far From Home. I mean, from No Way Home
yeah
or Far From Home, and then when there was that whole little bit at the end, and you're just like, "Man, how's he gonna get out of that?" And I was like, "Use a scroll. There you go. Bam." No,
yeah.
the answer is no. Let's use untested magic. That's the way to go. So
Yeah, it's kind of like I completely agree with you because the whole concept of the movie does kind of just like you said because that's the first thing like people are asking me they were like oh man that everyone knows his identity isn't this going to be bad for Peter. I'm like no, he can easily get out of this because I thought the same thing. Scrolls, if not he can literally just go live with all these other Avengers, but it feels like they just all pieced out and like deal with it on your own, kid, because they see it on the news. They can't say, they literally cannot say they didn't know that it happened because it's literally on world news. They can literally they could they're just ignoring him, or Marvel wants them to ignore it. I don't know. I don't
it's
know. There's so many.
you know what? You know why? Because reasons. That's
Just
why.
reasons. It's
That's why. Because reasons. That's why. So that said, I'm not shitting on the movie. I'm just saying I'm sort of thinking y'all better make this make sense. That's all. I just want it to make
yeah,
sense because right now, it's a bit like a person. You ever see a what was I feel like it was a commercial or something where he's got like all these access to all of these weapons. It's like some sort of commercial, but there's like should I choose the gun or the baseball bat or whatever. Nope, I'm gonna choose like these, completely inappropriate, uh, you know, broom or something like that. Versus you have all these weapons and you choose the broom. So I guess you want to do this the hard way or something. So, but that said, it's not bad. The thing is, the visuals are badass in this trailer. Not only are the visuals badass, I really liked the implications of um, the him having a case, and so they really show like okay maybe he really has a case. I liked the showcasing. I like a lot of the magic that was going on in there. Um, there's going to be a ton of action in this thing, but I do like to see that there's going to be a lot of character development. And this is, by the way, the last official MCU Spider-Man movie, unless they re-up their deal. So this is the last one you're gonna see that's in the MCU. Spidey's
hmm
gonna be in another movie, but he's not gonna be in another Spider-Man movie in the MCU. So um, I'm trusting that means that they're gonna go big, and go out on a high note.
oh yeah.
So um, I think it's a long time coming. I think a lot of people are really excited about it. I just need to see a little bit more. That as a teaser trailer, it teased the shit out of me. So I just need a little bit more, especially because I understand that you know MJ and Ned are going to be going on. They're going to be doing an adventure with Peter. So I'm hoping we'll see them in multiversal shenanigans. So, but we shall see. Um, we shall see when the movie comes out in December. So, all right, it's taken us an hour. It's taken us an hour, and some change, but we have gotten to the end of all of our news. So, all right, now that actually is the end of the news for this week. Again, if we missed anything, you know what to do. Get down to the comment section. Let us know what we missed. Maybe we can talk about it in a future Supercast. Or if you'd like, you can hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. And, we can chop it up, talk about this news and the superhero, movies, TV, video games, etc. And speaking of which, let's talk about superhero stuff on TV, specifically Disney Plus. When we talk about Marvel's What If Episode 3, which was titled What If, let me get it right. What if the world lost its mightiest heroes? And it's a big murder mystery trying to find out who the hell is killing the Avengers before they were ever the Avengers on this alternate Earth. I got like a long list of notes on this, which is surprising. But it's not a super long list, but I got a good list of notes. So before I dive into those, LADI, just let everyone know, what did you think about the third episode of What If?
Okay.
You're starting off. You're coming in hot. Okay.
It was okay, and I'm not gonna say I was disappointed with the episode because there was parts of it that I liked, but I felt like, like how a lot of this stuff that I love about the What If is that it gets your mind rolling. This didn't get my mind rolling at all. It was just like, okay, who's the person killing the Avengers? That's really all I was thinking about, because it didn't like open up any doors. The only thing that I thought of is about this world is screwed in the future. This world is absolutely screwed in the future. And it just, I felt like they could have done a little bit of a better job of choosing who ended up being the killer, because it just felt. It just was like, ugh.
Oh, you know what? I just realized I forgot to say no spoilers, but it's cool. To be quite honest, I don't even think spoilers on this is that big a deal. So we're gonna do straight into it.
Okay,
no non spoilers. We're just gonna spoil.
Yeah,
the killer.
Hank Pym.
Yeah, go ahead though.
Hank Pym being the killer, I just shook my head. I was like, man.
Well, let's back up a little. Let's back up a little bit. So the scenario is, it's after Iron Man 2, or it's around Iron. Actually, I think it's around Iron Man 2. Is that correct?
It's in between because it goes into.
Yeah, I think we learned early on that it's a week in the MCU where apparently Iron Man 2, Thor 1, and the Incredible Hulk all take place within that week. Didn't know that before, but now we do. All these things happen within the same week. So, and they don't recap any of those things because they can't recap Thor 1, Incredible Hulk, or Iron Man 2 because someone proceeds to murder, someone proceeds to murder Iron Man, and it looks like it's Black Widow. And it's it looks like it's Black Widow, even though and she does it in front of Nick Fury, which would be a dumb thing to do, but and then we have Nick Fury like, what the hell, and then it seems that Clint, aka Hawkeye, murders Thor, which is weird to me. I guess he's just a plain old person until he touches the hammer. Because he gets killed with an arrow to the heart, and then later on we see
because that doesn't make sense. Because like you said, from the movie, he was getting absolutely destroyed by that destroyer and still was alive.
Yeah, but that was before he touched the hammer? I couldn't remember.
But even then he should, because in the movie he died. Then the hammer brought him back to life.
Yeah, so it's yeah, there's some like, did that really happen? Those
Yeah.
aspects to this episode. Then there's the I'm just basically recapping how everybody died. Then you have Natasha. She breaks out breaks out, goes finds uh, Bruce Banner. Then all that shit from the campus invasion part of Incredible Hulk happens with, by the way, Mark Ruffalo. Instead, they have Mark Ruffalo. I looked at him like, oh, they deep faked Incredible Hulk. Okay, cool. They but and then he apparently dies from getting too hulked out, and then she's still trying to figure out what's going on, and somebody kills the Black Widow, and then Nick Fury. In the midst of all of this, the Asgardians
But,
come to town, and they're
but,
like, "Oh,
but
y'all killed
I,
Thor," and yeah,
I'm gonna be honest with you. That was kind of dumb too, of her saying hope is all about hope. She had enough time to say, why can't she say that it's Hank Pym?
yes, exactly. This, you know what? Okay, you know what? I guess I need to go ahead and just be like and tell you what I thought about the episode, instead of just recapping. My thoughts is this was fine. There
Yeah,
is
it
this
was.
this is
It's
one of those episodes where it's evenly balanced between uh oh, this is really damn cool, and I like this, and then what the hell were y'all, what do you why is this?
yeah,
This is one of those things where I definitely see where it falls down, but I also see where it really kicks ass. And so the times when I'm just like, but why though? There's quite a
yeah,
few times where I'm just like, but why though? And then there's other times I'm like, hell yeah, go ham.
yeah.
They're doing their thing. Like, you know what my but why those were? You want to know one of them?
What?
Um, I already saw Incredible Hulk and I already saw Thor, but why would you redo scenes from them with animation? I've already seen those movies. Don't do that. Don't waste precious minutes of this wonderful show with someone tracing scenes from an
Yeah,
actual movie.
because that's the thing. Because that's the thing that I was gonna. That was it slipped my mind, and I thought about while I was watching it. I was like, unlike all the other what ifs where there was actual differences. The only thing different is just they died. That's literally it. The only thing different between the movies is that they died.
Right.
So it was just like,
Well, they
uh,
died, and when they died is the other thing,
yeah,
because
and it just,
they died before Loki makes his deal with Thanos. So this is still a Loki this is the Loki before we ever saw him. The Loki we see in this, which is that's one of the good things, is that the response to Thor being killed is that Loki comes down with the Warriors 3, Sif, and an army, and they're ready
yeah,
to go ham. And
yeah,
I thought that was cool as shit. And then
yeah,
it's even cooler that Fury was like, "Yeah, no, don't be rolling up in here like we're supposed to be scared, because Fury don't
yeah.
get scared apparently."
And because we all know from watching what's it called, Captain Marvel, he has that uh button that he can bring a person who could pretty much punch a
I
planet.
really love that,
So
but that little callback when he was like, "Huh, well, I might have to go nuclear on this bitch." I
yeah,
love that he was like, "Nah, you know what? I'm gonna solve this." That
yeah,
was pretty cool. The murder mystery was stupid though. I'm
yeah,
not
it
gonna.
was. I
Like,
didn't like that at
if the
all. I
murder.
didn't like it.
First of all, it wasn't obvious until about 3/4 of the way who it probably was. It was
Yeah,
like, and I mean by not obvious, I'm like, they're dropping hints, and I'm like, these hints could be anybody. Like,
yeah,
you know, who, like they were like, well, who could cause Clint to kill somebody without knowing? I don't know, Loki, because he can fucking control minds. I don't.
yeah.
That's what
It's
I'm saying.
so
Like, I don't know. There's a
it
bunch
was
of people it could be.
yeah, it was one of those things that the movie just. I mean, the TV show, and then when we find out it's Hank Pym and he dies, I mean, he kills the Avengers because his daughter died because of shit. Why would you kill people that had nothing to do with the fuck your problem is?
Yeah. Well, he said he was like, I wanted you to hurt as much. I'm like, these are just
He
people.
doesn't. He
These are
doesn't
just
know
people.
Tony Stark. He doesn't
Yeah.
know Hulk. He doesn't know fucking what's his name. He doesn't. The only person that he knew was Natasha.
Well, he knew, and he knew Clint, but like,
Clint, but
it,
why? Why the other three?
he's
He
like,
doesn't know
I'm just
them.
gonna take away everything you. I'm like, I don't love this. This is something I really wanted to do, but like,
Just
just
fucking.
it. But the other thing is like, he's just such a lame ass villain.
Yeah.
He's. I mean, it's cool that he. Yes, when you see what he did, like he went in and stopped Tony's heart and killed and killed
Then he
Clint
punches.
and
He
then
punches Hulk's
and then
heart.
like yeah he blew up Hulk. Yeah, I mean that's cool. That part was cool, but like again, it wasn't there was not even that it wasn't obvious that there was no connecting tissue until Natasha was basically like, "Oh, it's Hope Van Dyne," and I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess that makes sense now that it would be the Ant Man." But like, it turns out that this entire universe is the result of a variant of. Um, I thought at first it was a variant of Hope. Hope Van Dyne was the variant, but she's not the variant.
Yeah.
The variant is Janet, who apparently was a Shield agent that died on
Yeah.
mission, and that's what led to Hope wanting to become a hero also and going to Shield. So it's a variant based on Janet, who we don't see because you saw they pulled up the little screen and Janet's dead, right? But he's like, how can a dead woman access the Shield network? And so it's clearly Janet's the one.
Yeah.
So it's just like he was just not a good villain.
Yeah.
That said, the way Fury dealt with him was fun as shit. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
basically like, "Oh, you want to get a confession? Just pretend to be me and then beat his ass."
Yeah. That was like I knew immediately. I was like, "That's Loki."
Oh yeah, I knew it. The moment I knew it when they were not the when they were talking, it was when he slapped him out of the air. I was like, "Ooh, the only person that would be able to do that is an
Yeah.
Asgardian."
Yeah. I was like,
Asgard.
yeah, that's what I said immediately when he hit him. I was like, "Yeah, that's Loki."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Loki. I
By
said,
the
"There's no
way,
way."
speaking of Loki, y- you know what? It is. I was I tweeted this, but basically I was like, uh, we forgot. This reminded us of how much of an ass, like a ruthless motherfucker that uh OG Loki was before, because Marvel phase 3 and Loki really kind of softened up. You're just like, Loki wouldn't do that. I'm like, y'all forgot who the hell Loki is.
Yeah, Loki.
He was
Yeah,
a
and
he was a piece. He was like a real piece of work
yeah, and
back before all this. So, and I didn't remember that until he was just like, you know what? I think I want to take over the world here. Y'all have a problem with it? No, nobody has a problem with that. Y'all cool? All right, I'm your king now. And then he does his little speech that he did. Was it Avengers? He did that speech about freedom and shit like that.
yeah, and then he's like, so what's his name goes and finds Captain America, and I guess
I
probably
loved it.
tries to
Well,
goes to. No, I meant he goes find Captain America and probably goes to dissolve him. Then all of a sudden you see what's her name
the
pop up
Captain
and be
Marvel
like
pops up.
Captain Marvel's like who I have to beat up, and I'm like, yeah,
I was like,
Loki, you
I
about
was
to
like,
get that ass whooped.
all I could think was, I was like, Loki, this motherfucker can't win. He can't win.
Loki,
You actually get to take over Earth, and then Captain Marvel's gonna come and beat the shit out of she's literally gonna mop the floor with every single Asgardian.
yeah,
And I'm like, man, you can't win for losing around this bitch. Loki literally is meant to lose because he was like, I'm the king of the world now, and I'm like, man, she's gonna punch you into the sun. You don't even know.
yeah,
So which was a cool little stinger at the end. I actually really liked that ending. I just
yeah.
wish it ended a better story than what we got. I thought also Tom Hiddleston was he's pretty good. I thought Hiddleston they gave him so much fun stuff to do in this episode. He's like, hi, I'm God. It's just stuff like that. Such a very Loki thing to say.
Oh man,
Oh,
if
what about
just
what do you think about Coulson being like? We know Coulson loves Captain America. He's the official #1 Captain America stan. So,
I
am I
just
wrong? Am I
yeah,
wrong?
I loved how he was just like, "What is your
Steve,
password?"
Steve, 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 Steve.
Steve, 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 Steve. Captain
Oh
America
man,
rules.
it was so nice to see Coulson again. I loved
Yeah.
it. He's like, oh, he's got great hair. No, this guy's gorgeous. I'm like, Clark Coulson is
Oh no,
that's
he's
my
actually gorgeous.
that's my dog Coulson. Coulson is he's I forget how much I miss him in the actual mainstream Marvel universe.
Yep.
He's good. Uh, so I think that I don't have too much else to say. This is not one for a wild ass speculation.
No.
This is actually a very simple ass story. What else do you have to say about it? I mean, literally, we know who the villain is. Uh, Loki tries to be emperor and he gets to be it for a day, and then Captain Marvel beats the shit out of them. Bam, end of the story. What else is there to talk about? Um, even what kind of bugged me also is there's only really two good action sequences,
Yeah.
and in the whole, even though they recreated the shit. But like I said, I don't want to see movies recreated in here. Show me some new things. So like Natasha kicking the shit out of you know the Shield guys. The who incidentally they are the Hydra Shield team, but
Yeah.
she beats the fuck out of them and escapes and like convincingly beats the shit out of everybody. That was pretty sweet. And and of course the Loki and versus Hank Pym fight. That was pretty fun. But just overall, I wasn't very excited about much of it. I was fine with what was going on, but I think I was more won over by the performances of certain people, but the story itself was kind of whatever. So I would rather they have cut out some of the mystery and then showed Carol beating the ever loving shit out of Loki. That'd have been more fun, I think.
Hmm.
So overall, definitely the third out of the three, the number three out of the three, by
Yeah. It
far.
was. Yeah. But yeah. It's. I mean, they messed up by showing that what's it called? Black Panther is as a Star Lord
Yeah.
first time through. It ruined everything else for us.
Well, I wouldn't call it ruining. It's just like
So it ruined it.
people need to step up. They need to step up and don't their what if concepts need to be because I don't want these retreads. I want you to take I want you to take a what if scenario and really play it out to something more interesting that makes sense. You know,
Yeah.
they the thing about the Star-Lord thing is it's such a deviation that everything that flows from it has got to be a huge deviation. What if the Avengers got killed before they were formed is not a huge deviation except for the fact that things are going to suck a lot more on Earth because there's no superpowered people to stop bullshit from happening. But I would have liked, what would have liked instead of, oh, let's track down the killer and also the Asgardians are invaded. You know what I'd liked instead? If
But
they had then gone ahead and said, well, we got to make some Avengers because there were other superpowered people on Earth at the time. And instead of, lamenting the deaths of these people, they track down Pym and like, all right, fuck that guy. And then you go get the Abomination and you go get, you get some Dark Avengers or something. There's ways to do this story that don't require, you know, it to be played out the way it did. Let's focus less on the fact that there's a murder mystery and focus on the fact that with the Asgardians in town, you probably should get some super powered people to deal with them, and there were other people. So
Yeah.
that's all I'm saying. Just like think about these things. It's not necessary. You know, Rhodey is around. Am I wrong? This is
Yeah. Yeah.
War
Oh yeah.
Machine exists. Like I don't understand this. Like War Machine exists. There was other ways to do this story. So you can complain forever.
Yeah.
I
We.
think just overall, I think mediocre episode. Do better next time. Next week, I want something better than this because I want to be able to
Yes.
talk a half hour about how awesome the episode is, not a half hour about ugh. You know what? This could have really have been better. So
Yeah. I was. Yeah. I was. It sort of threw me of how, like you said, mediocre it was. I was not expecting it to be like this. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Was not expecting it.
yeah. Well, they can't all be home runs, but
Oh yeah, that
god
is
damn
true.
it,
Yeah.
just get a single. I'd be happy for a
A
solid
single.
single or a double. You know,
Yeah.
it's just this was definitely. I feel like this was a pop fly. Definitely, it looked
Yeah,
good.
you know what it is? You know what it is? It's one of those homers that looked like it was about to hit out the park, but the guy grabbed it
Yeah,
at
they
the last
definitely.
second.
Well, yeah, they definitely. This is one of those. Now you know what this is. This is when you hit the ball, and then
Hmm.
it's an infield. You hit the ball, the runner's running and gets accidentally hit by the ball and is out. So, uh, anyway, I think that covers it for the week. Um, yeah. So, what did you guys think about this episode, and what did you think about our commentary on it? You guys get down to the comment section, let us know what you're thinking, and of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow at gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter, and we'll talk about more what if. Probably not that much about this episode, but future episodes definitely. And while you're in the clicking mood, why don't you go hit that subscribe button, join the Super Not Funny Show family, and hit that notification bell to let you know when we drop new content. We're doing a couple podcasts every weekend. Of course, we do reviews, other fun stuff like that. So, and I can't do this show without my good friend Lottie. So, Lottie, why don't you let them know how they can hit you up on social media?
And you can always hit me up on my Instagram is Anukinihun. It is ANUKINIHUN. Again, it's ANUKINIHUN. I upload quite a bit of different characters that I'm working on. I'm actually working on a character right now that I'm about to upload. Um, I pull different videos of short little gameplay trailers, or I mean gameplay that I play, or different things that I'm working on in my own video game. And also you can see me on my YouTube channel, which is KeenyHoon25, where I put up full length videos of the stuff that I'm working on, the games that I'm playing, and the character models that I'm working on. So yeah, always hit me up. You can leave a like, a comment, a subscription, anything. Just
Yeah,
make sure you show some love.
yeah, absolutely. Definitely get over there, subscribe, watch some videos, like comment, all that fun stuff. Show Lottie some love. And hey, it's a good episode this week, but we're coming back to you next week with episode 4 of Marvel's What If. Um, I s- I'm debating on whether or not to hold off a day just so we can talk about Shang-Chi, which comes out next week. So thinking about that, either way, we are going to talk about Shang-Chi. But until then, we've got plenty of things to be keeping an eye out on. We're going to be looking at all sorts of rumors, news, etc. for the next episode of the Supercast. But until then, I have been Mo de Poupe, your resident fabricant and comment extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime enthusiast, the video game designer, and the lover of all things superhero, my good friend Lottie.
Hmm.
And we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.